West Ham United started their second season back in the Premiership with great optimism after their cup final appearance in May. And Alan Pardew, Rob Green.
You know, I feel he's going to settle in well here, and you know, he's got a great opportunity. And unfortunately for him, he doesn't start the season, so he has to work extra hard to remove Roy. You know, if you look at us, we've got Dean, who's 22, Anton and Nigel, who are playing the under-21s, Robert Green, who's a young potential England national. And, you know, I still look at Paul Konchesky and Matty Etherington and Marlon to some degree and think there's still a chance for them. So it's good.
I think it's about 4 or 5 weeks now I've been here. First 1 or 2 weeks always the hardest, but you know, the lads have been great and the staff, and you know, I feel part of the club now.
If I'm playing regular in the West Ham team, that means I'm doing something right, you know, and then hopefully can lead on to other things.
You can't ask for much more to come to a club like this, a massive club like this, and have an atmosphere around the place. Got a lot of winners here as well, so it helps me settle in and try and achieve things here.
It's one of them where the opportunity arises, and it's very difficult. You know, it's a great opportunity for myself, and so you just take it.
Pardew's first Premiership 11 showed 2 changes from the side that appeared at Cardiff in May, with a debut for TYRONE MEARS and the return of Lee Bowyer.
The question, I think, is whether there was contact. The hand certainly came out. Charlton saw it.
There was no doubt about that.
Well, we're going to have a conversation here between Howard Webb and Mike Cairns, and it's a penalty kick.
You can see the ball. It's a great ball in there. He's got caught out of position. What's the hand? There's no doubt about that.
West Ham have been the better side. Can Charlton get the lead? Yes, they can. Darren Bent has got his first goal of this campaign. Now, Traore's in trouble here. Howard Webb will want a word with the former Liverpool player, and I think it's going to be more than a word. It's going to be the first yellow card of the afternoon. Wilson heads clear for Charlton. Traore tussling, and it's Harewood who gets the free kick. Traore penalised again. He could go now, and he has. Jimmy Traore stupidly getting his foot in the way of the free kick.
He shouldn't do it. He's got penalised for the pull there. That's the first foul. Just get away. You've just been booked 4 or 5 minutes beforehand, but I know Ian Dowie is absolutely furious as well. There it goes, just sticks his foot out. There's no doubt about that.
So on there with the tackle. Loose in midfield. Hayden Mullins try and keep the pressure on for West Ham. Bowyer with a lovely ball in, flicked on and put into the net by Bobby Zamora, and West Ham United have equalised in the 7th minute of the second half.
What a ball this is. Just gets a deft little touch, controlled finish. Doesn't have to look, just pull it into an area. That 6-yard box can come off anybody. It's a lovely little finish though.
This is Lee Bowyer. Those two have worked well down the right-hand side in the second half. The crossfield ball finds Ben Ayoun. Rio Coco in turn picks out Konchesky. Gets it again from Harewood. Here's Bowyer. Nice turn by Lee Bowyer. Chance for Lee Bowyer. Gets it across. It's hooked forwards. Did it go in? It did. Bobby Zamora scrambled in his second of the game, and West Ham lead. It was a missed kick, an untidy bouncing ball over the line. The West Ham fans don't care. They lead by 2 goals to 1.
He's involved again, Lee Bowyer. He's involved in the first goal. No wonder they celebrate. They needed a little bit of luck, but by determination and some skill, they managed to end up with the ball in the back of the net. It seems to take for ages.
Well, we are going to have a moment of history now, because Teddy Sheringham will become the oldest outfield player ever to play in the Premiership, as he replaces Bobby Zamora. Meanwhile, Carlton Cole will replace Marlon Harewood for West Ham. Here's Lee Bowyer. There's no offside here. There's a real chance for West Ham to wrap it up. And they have, and Carlton Cole has scored with his first touch after coming on as a substitute. 3 points to the Hammers on day one.
Great finish. Got his West Ham career off to a flying start. Just drill it in the back of the net, son. He does that. He's off and running. He takes his time, he composes it and just hits it hard and low.
I just wanted to make an impact as soon as I came on, the little time I had, and obviously it went right for me, and all the boys celebrated with me when I scored, so it was nice to see. He was immense today. Everybody always talks about Lee Bowyer and everything, and he's always lived up to expectations, and he was the best man on the pitch today, and it's great assist today, and I thank him for my goal as well.
Yeah, we'll take goals anyhow they come. Today the most important thing was getting the results. We got the result and got ourselves to a good start, and now I must try and keep the momentum going.
The feedback I've been getting off the manager and the senior staff is that they've equipped themselves very well, and they've all played part in the games, and James has had some great experience travelling to Greece. Didn't quite make Sweden after he lost his passport. But no, great experience for the three young lads, and it'll set them in good stead. And it showed them that the next step of the ladder is a big one, and they've got to try and somehow bridge that gap and make their place there permanent.
It's Hammer Buatsa. King! Post!
So unlucky as it comes off the post. Just needed the touch, he got that. That's very fortunate for West Ham.
And here's Francis. Powell's cross. Henderson underneath it. Young! Hansel looking to get round the outside of Chris Powell. Konchesky!
Hansel does extremely well in the end to get this cross in. It's lofted up to the far post. Konchesky gets over the static doily. Can't divert it into the corner. It's a great header, but it's straight at the keeper.
Powell. Young. Good hit by King! What a hit! That is a stormer! The king of Vicarage Road has Watford on their way to their first Premiership win of the season.
To hand the credit, though, to Watford, Rob, they did deserve that lead. It was a wonderful strike.
Well, it came off the hand of Harewood in the build-up here. Konchesky's ball, Zamora! It's in off the underside of the bar! West Ham get their equaliser. In the build-up, there did seem to be a handball from Harewood, but West Ham make their break, and Zamora scores again, his third of the season already.
Well, it's their first shot of the second half, but it's a wonderful ball. There was a handball from Harewood. He rose early, it came off his hand inadvertently, proved it very costly as it came out to Konchesky, and it's all about the quality of the ball in. Great striking from Konchesky.
Konchesky. Foster almost caught out. Sheringham back to Zamora.
Wow, cracking game is set up now. Cracking game. Another great cross from Konchesky. Great awareness from Teddy just to knock it back to Zamora. Doesn't get it on target with his right foot.
It's my responsibility to make sure the players are physically fit and prepared in all aspects of the game. Yeah, I had 3.5 years of Alan at Reading, which was the start of my career in football, which was a great learning curve. It was nice to work with a manager who was open-minded, bright enough and intelligent enough to take on board new ideas. We started about 7 seasons ago, before it became the in vogue thing to have sports scientists and psychologists. So it worked well. We were very successful together. Then obviously he came to West Ham because of the success.
Facing the team that they had taken on at Cardiff less than 3 months earlier, this would be Alan Pardew's side's most serious test of the season so far.
It is Fabio Aurelio. Paul Konchesky saves West Ham, stationed by the post. Benayoun. Rio Coca, that's neat. So's that. Zamora. And he went for the near post, and he's found it. The Barclays English Premier League's leading scorer shows he's in red-hot form right now.
I'm sure he's intending this for a cross. Reina leaves that big gap at the near post. Here's Zamora, he's looking up, trying to pick somebody out. That's a bit of a fluke.
Now a chance for two. Marlon Harewood with a really inviting opportunity.
Harewood may have been fractionally offside, but what an opportunity that is to put West Ham 2-0 up at Anfield.
Alonso. Agger, and they stood off him, and Daniel Agger makes West Ham pay. Gerrard, here's Garcia, there's Crouch, it's two.
What a great little reverse ball that is from Luis Garcia. There's Big Crouchy showing tremendous ability on the ball. By Roy Carroll in the West Ham goal.
Pancil, chance for the equaliser, and Bowyer steers it wide with Liverpool screaming for an offside flag. Glorious opportunity to make it 2-2.
And that is a terrible, terrible miss. What a chance, John.
Yeah, it's been great. Obviously the manager's brought some new players in and they've all moulded well, and we got off to a great start, and maybe could have been better with result at Liverpool. Really, to score in an FA Cup final was fantastic.
On the record books forever. How did you feel when it went in? Did you know for a moment that it might drift over the keeper?
I thought it might go over the keeper, but out of play. But then I see it hit the back of the net, and it was a shock really. I didn't really know what to do at that moment in time. Again, then straight onto Teddy.
I'm pleased to have scored, but the team's playing some good stuff as well. It was a battle, I think, at Watford, but obviously going to Liverpool and playing well, and we weren't far off taking the 3 points, to be honest.
Does this surprise you? Obviously West Ham did well in pre-season, but how confident they've looked in these first few games?
No, I think we were confident last year, and you saw that in the football that we played. But obviously we've added a few lads, and they're all very, very capable players. So the confidence of the team is up, and the atmosphere and everything is buzzing.
West Ham ended August in the top half of the table with a full hand. 1 win, 1 draw and 1 defeat. An identical beginning to their previous season, but it was to be the last good month for the Hammers for some time. The traditional international break at the beginning of September presented quite a surprise for West Ham United fans, with the arrival at the club of the 2 Argentinian World Cup stars Carlos Tevez and Javier Mascherano. The deal bringing the players to the club promised great things for a side who had been in the Championship just 2 years earlier. The club proudly introduced the press to its 2 new stars at a high-profile Upton Park press conference on the 5th of September 2006. Concerned that fans would want to see the new Argentinian signings in the starting lineup, Alan Pardew made an announcement to the crowd before the Aston Villa home game.
It is perhaps the start of a new era for us. Let's enjoy that, and I'm sure that the guys could well be involved today. And what I've seen of them in training, I don't think the West Ham public are going to be disappointed. They look fantastic. We're looking forward to them. They're going to have a big part to play But I hope, as I say, that fans trust my decision today, back us to the hilt, and let's hope we get a great victory today on what's been a week of a lot of speculation and some good, some bad. But it's about us, it's about the people who are here today. I hope they make a lot of noise and that we get the win for them.
On the horse, seeing a lot of the ball early on, taking on Konchesky and winning the corner. Moving on, watching as Barry plants it into that danger area. It was a great save, but it's been turned in anyway. And it's the centre-back, Ridgewell, who has given Villa a dream start here. Roy Carroll thought he'd done the business with the first save, but he couldn't hold on to it. And Villa in front already. Oh, what a mistake there by the goalkeeper! And he has not been punished. What a miss by Harewood.
That's a mistake by the keeper, and well, Harewood's really just got to steady himself.
There's Petrov. Barry. A wicked ball in. Konchesky couldn't take any risks. Keeping a careful eye on Larson. Ridgewell alongside him. Barry takes it again, and it's another great one, and could have easily made it 2-0. West Ham all over the place on these Villa corners.
It's Anton Ferdinand that just gets drawn towards the ball, and Angel just steps a yard off. It just can't guide it down onto the target.
Continue to play some neat, tidy and impressive football here, and Angel's header was absolutely brilliant.
Again, he finds a crossbar, but this time he's unlucky. Carroll's beaten all ends up.
Oh, it's a lovely ball to the near post, and it's so almost caused an equalising goal. It's got the home fans roaring again. Konchesky's header through the crowded box, and it's found its way straight in. Whether there was a final touch is irrelevant. Zamora will claim it, and in the form he's in at the moment, you can't blame him.
It's very well worked. Flick off the side, and it goes striker's goal.
Bobby Zamora maintains his remarkable start to the season.
We talked about it in the first half with Aston Villa not taking one of those chances to make it 2-0.
Petrov getting in here, can regain the lead! Oh, what an incredible goal line clearance! It looked impossible, and Petrov denied his first Premier League goal by an astonishing clearance.
This is unbelievable from MEARS, the fullback. Unbelievable. The ball's on its way in. How he gets his foot up there and hooks it out. Fantastic piece of defending.
Moore's layoff. Petrov there again. Barry. Immensely enjoyable game, and Barry shows he has a right foot as well as a left. It's another incredible stop on the line. This time I think it was Ferdinand who got it away.
Well, I think Roy Carroll's indebted to Anton Ferdinand here, because I thought the keeper should have done a little better on that, and Ferdinand somehow gets back and clears the danger.
A player with a reputation of being one of the most talented young strikers in world football. He will replace Marlon Harewood. Here's Tevez. Oh, brilliant. Well, if he could have picked out a claret and blue shirt, that would have been some start to his career. Fair result for me. Neither side in the end doing quite enough to win this.
Not a win for Hammers, but great anticipation as they prepared for their re-entry into European competition for the first time in 7 years, facing a real challenge against top Serie A side Palermo.
Well, the captain will be getting more of those. Caracciolo, who scythed him down from behind. Nothing too subtle about that. Chesky takes the free kick quickly. It'll be Colding, and Zamora just had it taken off his head there. The defender, good defence, but goodness me, Fontana had to have his nose up. Now Zamora. Tevez! Fontana made a great save. Tevez' first start for West Ham. What a start that would have been. Good save by the keeper. Benayoun. Hustled off the ball by Simplicio. Now, Diana hits it in. Caracciolo! And Palermo have a lead before half-time. The last thing that West Ham needed. And Carroll was caught here. Not very much he could have done. The West Ham defence all over the place. Ferdinand stretching, but he didn't make the touch. Well, they're certainly continuing to attack, and they could have a second here, Palermo. Great save from Carroll. He was out very, very quickly. Certainly 2 away goals, and that would have been the end of the tie for West Ham. Taking quickly the kick. Konchesky doing the cover. And he just got back there, Konchesky. I think Carroll wouldn't have had that. Benayoun. Not a bad cross. Off the post! Harewood. West Ham, oh dear, that surely is a penalty. But no. No, referee, Johannesson of Sweden has booked Etherington for that. But how close can you get from Harewood? What do you think here? Well, referee might have had a point.
Tevez! Oh, off the crossbar! Ferdinand heads it down. Oh, Carlos Tevez so close to his first West Ham goal. Bowyer trying to catch Given off his line! Oh! What an effort from Lee Bowyer.
Well, Shay Given can afford a wry smile because it's gone wide. And that's a foot away from being one of the goals of the season.
Mascherano tracking him back. This is Damien Duff. Oh, and Duff has scored! What a wonderful finish from the Irishman.
Right, it's a great strike from Damien Duff. Martins does all the work.
Zemre. Sibierski. Oh, Martins, what an opportunity! Oh, yes! It's first Newcastle goal!
There was a lot of indecision between Bowyer and Gabidon there, which allowed Martins to go through. And that is a cool finish, right into the corner as Carroll came out to narrow the angle. Danny Gabidon, I think, was a little bit slow onto it because Bowyer said, come onto it, get it away. But Martins still had to finish it, and it's a great finish.
West Ham's unexpected successive home defeats were clearly the result of adjustments to a changing squad, but they soon faced another tough challenge, this time away at Stuart Pearce's Manchester City, with the return European leg to swiftly follow.
Stick on this by Ishmael Miller. It's a never-ending run by Miller. It's Miller. Daly makes the block. And Manchester City have the lead. A thumping hit from Georgios Samaras.
Get away, get your head up. There's a 1-against-1 with Christian Daly. Ricochet, but look at this for a first touch. Gets it under control, great technique. It's in the back of the net before Roy Carroll can get stand. Great first touch, he sets himself. Just compose yourself, have a swing, put that in the back of the net.
Here's Samaras, he's onside! And he's got his second goal. Gloriously taken by Georgios Samaras.
Great little ball knocked in. Look at West Ham's line, they're all over the place. Carroll comes charging out, dinks it over him, full of confidence, full of ability. He started the game brightly, and what a neat little finish that was.
West Ham's season so far has been as disappointing as Palermo's has been pyrotechnic. 4 games in Serie A have produced 20 goals. By Italian standards, that's reckless. And they concede nearly as many as they score, so that gives the Hammers hope. Well played by Bowyer, but he's gone down injured, having been caught. Here's Tevez, and Tevez has done well. It's helped away by Fontana.
Excellent play by Tevez. He isn't just a goal scorer, he wants to take people on where it matters in the final third. Does it well to shift onto his left foot. It's a good save. Goal bound.
To Michele. Quite happy to try from anywhere.
He certainly believes in himself. He will try the unexpected.
To Carini. To Michele. Chance here for Simplicio.
There's real sign of quality. Lovely ball in from Carini. Knocked back, he was slow getting out. Collins eventually goes, gives him too much time. Thankfully, he doesn't find it.
Gabidon confused with Konchesky. Here's Di Michele. Goes down. Ball still in play, and West Ham have scrambled it clear. Rio Coca finally, and Carroll's hurt. West Ham
this is brave goalkeeping by Carroll. He makes that one, gets up really quick, gets a block on the second one. Tremendous goalkeeping, brave goalkeeping. Showed a lot of courage at a vital time in the game.
Plenty of West Ham noise from the supporters too. Collins, chance with the overhead. Marlon Harewood denied by the acrobatics of Fontana. Here's Tevez. West Ham really close to taking the lead on the night.
Well, he's so unlucky, isn't he, Harewood?
And West Ham. Bowyer. And again the effort blocked by the goalkeeper. This time it's Carlton Cole who's disappointed.
We've got a game on now, haven't we, John?
And then a foul by Konchesky on Diana.
My first instinct was that he got the ball. He did. Obviously, he's shown he stood.
It's short. It's Simplicio. It's cracked in. After West Ham's purple patch, the colour in this stadium is all pink. The win would take West Ham through on the away goals rule. Spector. There's Cole! Best chance that West Ham have had.
Maybe.
Gabidon. That is pocket picked by Di Michele. It's a lovely ball for Simplicio. Chance and a goal! Simplicio second.
For the ball, he plays it in. Simplicio's onto it. Roy Carroll started to come, went back, and then decided he had to come again. Made Simplicio's job easier. And for his quality, it's an easy finish. Killer goal.
Benayoun too. And Di Michele is onside. This could be another. It is. Oh, and Roy Carroll is furious. He feels there should have been a flag, and he's run through.
Call. Long ball in from Carini. Very difficult to judge whether it was on or off from there, but certainly tight.
It's been a miserable night for them. West Ham outclassed and out of Europe at the first hurdle. Beaten convincingly by a very impressive Palermo. It might all have been so different had Carlton Cole hit the back of the net instead of the outside of a post when the Hammers were only one behind.
September, having promised so much, delivered a meagre point and a single goal. both in the very first game of the month, which saw their European dream quashed in desperately disappointing circumstances. Even so, nobody at the club could have possibly predicted then that things could have got any worse before they'd start getting better. This fixture against Reading, always a difficult one for Alan Pardew, was made tougher by the form of Steve Coppell's inspired and newly promoted Royals, 8th in the league and eyeing up a 4th league win of the season.
It's Reading who have the first free kick. Convey, the American wingers, over the ball. Sol Ki-hyun is there as well. Early opportunity here for the visitors. It's going to be put in by Sol. Not quite sure that's what he intended. It opens up for him. Oh, what a goal! What a strike by Sol Ki-hyun! Inside the first 90 seconds. That is an absolute screamer.
It's Benayoun who comes out, and that's too easy. You see, he never gets close to him, and of course you give him room at your peril. What a strike! And it's past Roy Carroll before his dive can get there. You can see Roy Carroll's dives now, and the ball's already behind him.
Etherington. Carlton Cole was there, headed away though by Ingemarson, the captain. He's urged to shoot here. Oh, and it's saved well by Hahnemann. Jonathan Spector with the long-range effort.
Nice height, but when he spills it, have a panic in that mud. Comes back nicely to him.
Tackle by Sidwell, but Cole back to Mullins. Mullins, oh, good save by Hahnemann. Pushes it away.
Well, he's had a good game today, Aidan Mullins. He responded to the pressure of Mascherano and really came out and played. Good strike. Hahnemann doesn't risk catching it.
Spector's ball forward. Sheringham, will it run through to Yossi Benayoun over the goalkeeper and hacked off the line. What a wonderful piece of defending from Steve Sidwell.
Well, they failed to attack the first ball. I think Teddy Sheringham totally mistimes it. It bounces through to Benayoun. He lobs the keeper. And here's the clearance off the line. He does everything right, Benayoun, but he just doesn't get enough pace on it.
Once I got the cast off and had the boot on, obviously I was able to move about a bit and, you know, could do general things, you know, go to the shops and things like that. But generally, it was, you know, just been sat around enjoying the TV and things like that, which, you know, is a bit boring. But
big fan of daytime TV now, would you say? Or?
Yeah, Jeremy Kyle, massive fan.
The next step was then to see the surgeon on Saturday, and that went well?
Yeah, really well. I mean, the X-rays looked really well, and you know, he just said, you know, off you go. You know, you're fine to walk and get on with it. It was obviously very strange walking at first, and I'm still not, you know, walking properly yet, but it's just nice to be doing things now.
But we've seen signs in the last game and the Palermo game prior to it that we were starting to get back to a little bit of form, and some of the players are getting back to the form that they're capable of. And hopefully we can continue at Portsmouth, which is always a very difficult place to go. And we know to go there and what to expect. And we know we'll need to be prepared mentally, physically, to win the game. And as I say, they've lost a couple of games recently, but their performances have been excellent. Now we've got to match our performances recently and start putting some wins on the board.
Kanu, Manuel Fernandes has played a couple of times for Portugal at senior level. Pedro Mendes! Johnson. O'Neill. Such an energetic, athletic player. Johnson crosses, Kanu gets there! He keeps his scoring run going.
It's a decent ball in by Ben Johnson, but he just gets the wrong side now, and the Ferdinand's trying to get back in there. Carroll can't come for the ball.
Roy Carroll was trying to claim that there was a handball. It rather ran off his shoulder a little bit, but no more than that, I think. Etherington. Sheringham going near post. And the danger was spotted by Campbell. West Ham end up with a corner, which Etherington takes. Comes out to Paul Kucheski. David James got down very capably.
Decent strike again, Martin. This is the hardest one, but David James is in outstanding form, and he has been for 2 or 3 seasons.
Once again from the right. Cole. And James keeps it out from Rio Coca with some difficulty. Another important save.
Rio Coco thinks he scored. There's David James using all of his frame.
Cole. Linking up with Taylor. He didn't go down, but he put the ball in the net. And when you've got that knack, you never lose it. Only Alan Shearer has scored more goals in the Premiership than Andy Cole, who scores in this league for 6 different clubs.
You must have thought it was going to be your night tonight with 2 goals in the first 15 minutes, but it didn't turn out that way for the team.
No, it didn't turn out that way. The lads played really well first half, and then second half I think they come out and go at us.
It must have been an unusual experience for you to play in front of a virtually empty Upton Park. What did you make of the whole experience?
Nothing really. I didn't think about that. I was just thinking about getting the game under my belt really, because it hasn't been going for me in the first team, and because we all fighting away trying to get a win in the first team, but I just thought I'd come and get a game under my belt, and it felt real good.
And it doesn't matter whether it's in the Premiership, reserve level, or on the training pitch, scoring goals breeds confidence for a striker, so you must have felt that way after those 2 strikes tonight.
Yeah, definitely. Any goal really for a striker is good. It's good to get going again, and but we lost tonight. That's the main thing really for Kev, and that's all I'm worried about.
And all we can do now, after a result like that, is look forward. And for you, that will be looking forward to Tottenham on Sunday, and you're hopefully playing a part at White Hart Lane.
Yeah, hopefully I've done enough tonight to show the gaffer or whoever was watching us to play tonight that I can go to Tottenham and do what I did tonight.
Now Yossi Benayoun has got beyond Chimbonda. Harewood positions himself in the centre. Work for Benayoun to do, but he's doing it well. In the end, just took 1 touch too many, really.
He didn't do it well for me. He had the chance to put the ball in. Players have made runs, didn't do it.
Aaron Lennon, that's a lovely dip of the shoulder to take him beyond Ferdinand. Lennon for Spurs, just wide. Defoe, here's Aaron Lennon. Signs he wants to run at Konchesky. Back it comes for Defoe. What a save that was by Green. Defoe thought he'd scored against his former club.
It is a good save, but 9 times out of 10, Defoe would have put this in. Didn't get the best of contact.
His next goal, by the way, Jermaine Defoe, would be his 100th career goal. This is Rio Coca in for Harewood, who's got beyond Dawson. Harewood, Robinson with the save. And Chimbonda should be able to clear. The referee took a look to see whether it had gone out for a corner. Benayoun felt in hand.
Well, it's a decent chance. Thought Marlon Harewood might have been able to take it a little bit closer to Paul Robinson, but took it early. The keeper's made a good save.
Edgar Davids. Fancy's taking on Pansel. Here comes the cross. Mido's got that first. It's Mido, and it's 1-0. Mido's first goal of the season in first half stoppage time.
He made it all happen. He saw that Edgar Davids was under pressure at full stretch. Mido sees that.
Terrific atmosphere, and West Ham will be dreading the headlines if they slip up here tonight. Holden already showing his threat. He's quick, and he gets a good ball in there. That was a fine save. West Ham looked to the linesman for an offside flag, but it never came, and Green to the Premiership team's rescue.
It's just onside for me. He decides to go near post. That's what makes it easier for Green.
Huge kick by Green. Zamora pursuing it. Harewood with the shot. At long last, West Ham have a goal. The longest they've ever had to wait in the club's history.
But Barry Roach, what are you doing? You can't win the ball. You can't win that ball on the 18-yard line when this comes from Robert Green, so you've got to stay in your goal, because if you don't stay in your goal, when it bounces back to Zamora, look at his positioning now. He's beating all ends up. If things continue as they are, well, give it your best shot. They're doing that now.
And Larkin has got in behind here, and it's come to him. Should have done better.
Daniel Gabinon has a nightmare to begin with, but then he maybe retrieves himself by putting him under pressure because he thinks he's got a bit more time than he has.
Niven. Here's Foden. It's done brilliantly. Oh, Larkin. They're level.
He is magic. He's always going to come inside onto his left foot, and they must have forgot about that being his strength, West Ham, because they've allowed him to do that.
Here's Konchesky. Daly. Goalkeeper hesitated. He thought about coming for it. Zamora!
Teddy Sheringham wanted this ball. He wanted Bobby Zamora to leave this ball because he was just setting himself up to hammer this ball. And look, Zamora takes it off him. Tries to get it down, it just doesn't come down quick enough for him to get over the top of it, and up and over it goes.
Oh, and it's finished brilliantly, and it's finished off brilliantly by Fowler. The stroke of luck, Chesterfield is there, and they're in front with 4 minutes left.
Well, as you quite rightly said there, Alan, it's a massive stroke of luck.
Has looked as bright as anyone on early on. Sheringham very carefully policed by Blackburn Rovers. McCartney with the cross in. Reo-Coker! Oh, he was so close to ending the long drought.
Delivery's good, back up place, good by Reo-Coker. Just watch here as he just gets out. So one of the Blackburn players, two guys, just runs across him.
Now then, Zamora. Benayoun, Sheringham! Oh yes! At last, a West Ham United goal! It's Teddy Sheringham's first of the season, and it's the first time West Ham have scored in the Premiership since September the 9th.
I mean, they just keep this ball alive, West Ham. Zamora does well to hold it in and bring people into the game. It's a lovely little clip by Benayoun. It's an invitation. It's asking somebody to come forward and put their head on the ball and be brave. Get to it, and Friedel's got no chance.
Peter plays it in there, across to the back post. What a remarkable save that was by Robert Green. Lucas Neal, I think it was, who got forward on the back post. And West Ham United, Bobby Zamora can't make it two. Friedel denies him. Sheringham. Astonishing drama at both ends.
This is a brilliant reaction. So he doesn't know an awful lot about it, but gets the ball up and away.
Etherington. It's gone a long way and it's gone in! And it's Hayden Mullins with his first ever Premiership goal for West Ham United, who makes it 2-0 and surely has given West Ham the win that they hunger for.
And again, it may well be that near post flick. Actually gets flicked off. I think it's Kizanashvili who actually flicks it on, and Mullins, well, we talked about him holding midfield. He just times his run in there perfectly, gets the right connection.
McCarthy, good turn. Benny McCarthy, he's come out, and they still can't keep a clean sheet. Blackburn Rovers get one through David Bentley in stoppage time, just to set the nerves jangling a little.
Brilliant play this by McCarthy. Look how he spins and fires it in, and Greenwell, it's too hot to handle. Great reaction from Bentley and following up. This is brilliant play. It's a quick shift, it's a decent strike, and just bounces in front of Green, and when it comes away, Bentley's the first to react. It's Neil. Swung in and just over the bar. It was Freddie Jeffers, and Blackburn Rovers nearly broke West Ham United's hearts there.
You know, everyone can see that, you know, we've took a lot of battering in the press and, you know, going out in the cup and everything, so it was a massive result for us, and this one, like you said, it takes, you know, it's a lot of relief and a lot of weight off the shoulders, you know.
Yeah, I was obviously delighted to get the win. Made it a bit more difficult for ourselves at the end, or I did personally. You know, it could have been a comfortable win, and you know, everyone worked hard and put in a good, solid professional performance, and they took the chances when they came, and it was, you know, a massive result for ourselves.
Yeah, you know, everyone had a great performance, to be honest. You know, it took all 11 players and then the ones on the bench as well to get a victory today.
So the old man showed him how to do it.
Yeah, it was very much needed, wasn't it, today? It was, we really needed to win. We put a lot of effort into that today, and we're very pleased we've come out on top.
I think it's my first in over 100 games, so, you know, I'm happy with that, and it was a lot of relief at the time when, you know, as you say, Blackburn had most of the ball and they were pressuring us hard, so it was a relief to get the goal, and it was the cushion that we needed, the 2 goals, you know.
October 2006 saw just one Hammers win out of a possible 4 in the final fixture of the month, and exit from the Carling Cup at the hands of Chesterfield. It was an indication of the challenges ahead, but Alan Pardew's side were on a temporary up that would see improvement in the weeks to come.
Now Benayoun. Outside him is Spector. And Spector's made the run. It's a corner.
That was good movement, and there's good recovery by Clichy as well, because he was beaten. He just ball watched for a couple of seconds. Spector had the opportunity to get the ball in, but he's got good recovery pace.
Benayoun. Etherington. Oh! Zamora was a matter of inches away from turning it in.
That took a massive deflection, didn't it, John?
Kevin Keane alongside Alan Pardew. The coaching staff here has been slightly restructured with the departure of assistant manager Peter Grant to take over at Norwich. There's Henry. And the volley by Van Persie, turned aside by Robert Green.
Henry pulls off fantastic ball from Lev with his wrong foot. Henry does the unselfish thing. Van Persie he just doesn't quite connect with it well enough.
Now here's a chance. It's Rosicki! He should have had his first Premier League goal.
There's a pass from Fabregas. Ferdinand misses it, actually. Oh, he just slashes across it in the end.
Arsene Wenger hates London derbies. He thinks it's a decided disadvantage that there are so many derby games in the course of a Premier League season. Gilberto. Kleb. The wall pass back to Kleb. Referee says absolutely nothing doing.
Oh, that's a penalty. He's missed it. Thought he got it right.
Without question, a penalty. Sheringham. Good header, onside. Chance here, chance for a winning goal. And Lehmann saves the day. Harewood bearing down on him from Sheringham's cute set-up play. And Harewood knows he should have done better.
Harewood's first touch is not great enough. He doesn't get it out of his feet quickly enough. Allows Lehmann to come out and narrow the angle there. Lehmann sees it. Port's first touch. Gets lucky though, hits the inside of his leg, bounces off the other one, and Torre cleans up the pieces.
Clichy. Henry.
Dare I say he's been very quiet today, hasn't he, Thierry Henry?
Don't say that, Evan. You know what'll happen next. Well, that's what'll happen next.
A shot that was perilously close to Robert Green's upright. Hit with some venom by Kolo Touré.
Oh, what a strike that. I thought it was in. I thought it rebounded back out of the net. Super strike. Well, Green might have got a fingertip to it if that was on target. It is on target, swerves away in the end. No, I think it's past him.
Fabregas. Intervention was from Konchesky. Here comes Flamini trying to mop up for Arsenal. Etherington's escaped. Sheringham. Etherington and Harewood! That could be a turning point in West Ham's season.
Oh, that was coming, John. And you can't deny that West Ham have deserved it in the second half. There's the 1-2 coming up. Sheringham doesn't waste any time. Great 1-2. What a great finish that is. Justin Hoyt's ball watching. And they've taken the opportunity.
Andy D'Urso having to step between Arsene Wenger and Alan Pardew. Feelings running way too high on the touchline.
This season, you know, it hasn't gone too well as of late. We got a good result last week, and you know, it was a great performance today from the lads, and you know, unbelievable to get 3 points. You know, we're over the moon at the moment.
I think everybody expected us to lose, but we showed the fight that we had last season, and I think we surprised them, and we got amongst them, and I think we deserved the win in the end.
Yeah, obviously the boys got a great win against Blackburn, so all due respect, the manager shouldn't have changed it, but he put me back in along with Bowyer, and for the London derby it was a great game and it's a great result for us.
Strange, isn't it, too, as you say, 2 Londoners, 2 West Ham fans who've come back into the side because he knows maybe that it means just that little bit extra to you.
Yeah, maybe. He knows, obviously, we're West Ham boys and we know what these games are all about. Obviously, the fans know, and they showed it today. They got right behind us, which was our 12th man today, and I think that showed on the pitch as well. We kept going to the 93rd minute, and it paid off.
Rio Coca looking for some help. He's not going to get it, so go alone, Nigel Rio Coca. And still finds the cross, can't find a teammate, but good play by Nigel Rio Coca.
Great play down the right there. Great cross in. Well, could easily have ended up in the back of his net.
There's a 5-on-4 here for Middlesbrough. Can they make the extra man advantage pay? Morrison makes a great run. Options in the middle now for Downing, who goes alone. And Green had to parry away. Not such a good ball this time, but Middlesbrough will get a second chance. And again, a poor delivery. Might fall to Macaroni. It does. Macaroni scores! It's his first goal in the Premiership since scoring against West Ham last season.
Well, it's a brave downward header here, and the angle's really tight when he skips out Robert Green here, but still manages to get it into the back of the net. It's a terrific bit of work with the Italian. What we were saying about a new contract.
The positiveness hasn't really stopped. You know, the boys are still digging away, trying to win as many games as we can. But yeah, definitely after the win, there was a little bit more bubble in the training sessions, and it's been enjoyable.
Shevchenko, wonderful move, but dropped by the benefactor of that, and he was taken out by Gabidon. And that's going to be worthy of a yellow card. The element of surprise catches West Ham out. Well, it was a wonderful finish from Jeremy, but I think there's an awful lot of training ground thought went behind that one.
I fully expected to see that ball hit the back of the net.
Zamora. Tevez. A minute and a half remaining in the first half. Konchesky puts in the cross. Oh, it falls here to Rio Coca! And that was some tackle to stop him by Cole.
And this has been West Ham's best hope, the left-hand side. Good ball delivered in from Konchesky. Little flick on, falls to Rio Coca. What a great block this is from Ashley Cole.
Winter is setting in, and this is when last year Chelsea had their championship chance. They won 10 in a row in the Premiership between November and January, and they do so again. Here's Drogba! Same old story! Offside though, it's not going to count.
Well, I want to see this one again because the assistant referee was very late putting his flag up. Well, I think the two of them, including Drogba, were marginally offside, but it was a very, very late decision by the assistant referee, but I think he got it right.
It had already been a season of unexpected events for West Ham, almost from the word go, but the speculation of a takeover had been rife for the previous 2 months. Now a buyer was to appear, an Icelandic business tycoon, Eggert Magnusson, a man who had been a fan of the club since he'd first seen them as a boy several years ago. His first game in charge of the club was against fellow relegation strugglers, Sheffield United.
Davis has lost out to Zamora. Well, they were queuing up inside that penalty area then with Bowyer and Tevez together.
Zamora picks out Lee Bowyer, who really should have put it into the back of the net for the opening goal for West Ham.
Etherington with the corner kick. It hasn't been defended particularly well. And Hayden Muggles here has given West Ham the lead.
It's all about the delivery from Matthew Etherington. Lovely little flick on from Anton Ferdinand. Aidan Mullins arrives absolutely to perfection.
Aidan Mullins, who waited 45 games for his first Premiership goal. And now he's got 2 this season for West Ham United. Law can't believe their luck and their misfortune.
Well, as the chance falls to Law, you expect him to hit the back of the net, but he really snatches at his shot, and it's not a good attempt by Nick Law. The youngster really should have put that into the back of the net.
Chested down by Harewood, back by Sheringham. Kenny's come out. Harewood finds the side netting.
For one moment the crowd thought it was in, and that would have been the end of Sheffield United, but they live to play their part in the last couple of minutes.
Legend-Wood. Green couldn't get that. And it's been ruled out. Kozluk was sure that he had got an equalising goal then.
4 games in November, and significantly 2 wins at home, the second under the watchful eye of new owner Eggert Magnusson, celebrating his first game in charge of the club with a very welcome 3rd successive home win.
It's been a tough process, you know, a lot of work, but you know, now I'm here and I can only look forward to what will happen to West Ham in the future. As a young man, you know, I admired already then the great players that came from West Ham, you know, which formed a big part in the World Cup side 1966. You know, Bobby Moore, which is a legend, you know, and was really what, you know, is great about football. He was an example to young players who want to succeed in football. We had Geoff Hurst, you know, we had Martin Peters, and you had so many great players. It's unbelievable. Trevor Brooking, I mean, the side that was playing in Amsterdam in a friendly against Holland, you know, the midfield was from West Ham. So, I mean, you have been doing great things in developing young players, you know, and I look very much forward to strengthen even the academy and keep on getting English players out of West Ham.
Johnson brushed aside, obviously lacking the sharpness due to his inactivity recently because of that injury problem. And Tevez. Oh, he's done that well. Oh, it's a great knockback, and it should have been the first goal of the game for West Ham United and Lee Bowyer.
Watch how Tevez just drops his feet, changes direction, then picks out Bowyer.
Superb goalkeeping by the former Norwich City player. Zamora taking the battle on to Everton. And now Tevez again. And a good save this time from Howard.
Oh, this is just coming of what he's done today. Again, he just drops his shoulder and goes for sheer power.
Van der Meijden back. Yobo forward. BT seems to be fighting a losing battle. He did really well to keep that in play, and it's come out to Osman! That's persistence for you. Osman, the goal scorer, quite rightly will take the credit, but how well did BT do? He refused to give up on that ball.
Could have flashed at the ball, but BT does ever so well to keep it alive. But it's good backup play from Osman, keeps his concentration and just steers it past Robert Green in the goal.
And that's the Icelandic owner of West Ham United, who's finding out the hard way that life in the English Premier League can be very, very difficult. It's Rio Coca for West Ham. Still a couple of minutes remaining here, but Carsley has it back for Everton and plays it in neatly to young Vaughan. What a moment for him! The man who thought his career was finished by injury has just clinched the points for Everton.
Again, it's good work from McFadden, somebody putting in that extra yard. BT did it for the first goal, McFadden does it for the second, and well, he just shifts the ball from right to left. Vaughan blasts it through Robert Green.
West Ham kick-off, and it's a game they have to win. Paul Jules Wigan. A lot of success here in previous seasons. Collins can't believe that was awarded against him. It's taken quickly, and Green had to make a very important save in the very, very first minute. Wigan pushed men forward straight away, and Green got down just in time. Here's Howard. Well, he's had very little luck this season, but he had the luck there to beat the offside trap. Went round, beat Kirkland, but the ball came off the post. Defensive header, and Konchesky just stabs the ball back. Benayoun gets in again. A turn, a shot from Howard, but it's wide. Pardew trying to get the men together, trying to rally them. West Ham corner. It's a header and a miss! Right on the far post. Tevez. What a time to score your first goal, and he really got in the 6-yard box. Couldn't get any contact. Same thing, West Ham pushing and pushing and pushing. Here's Tevez, getting himself into a scoring position. Lovely shot. It's come back off the post. No luck for West Ham at all. Look at the skill from Tevez. He's done everything, taking it almost from the halfway line, and with Kirkland beat, it comes back off the post. It'll come to Cotterill, and Wigan have the lead. It was the ball right across from Kilban. Cotterill did everything else himself. Now West Ham, a second would be a disaster. Well, Fitzhall is up for the corner for Wigan. There's a shot, but this has got a deflection. It was going wide, and Spector stuck a leg out. What a disaster. Baines' shot, it's going wide, and that's the way West Ham's luck is at the moment. Another free kick, and it's offside. I have to say, it didn't really look offside. He was level. West Ham a little fortunate. Well, it's a defeat for Pardew.
There's Anelka. Davis has been bypassed. Instead, he's picked out El Hadjouf. Anelka again. The far post header has come right out to El Hadjouf here. And Bolton Wanderers have taken the lead. It's Kevin Davis, the goal scorer. Green on his toes. Campo up. And it's been prodded home by Kevin Davis. A second goal here for Kevin Davis.
Alan Pardew will be livid. A set play, they've come undone. Look, Davis pulls away. When the ball comes back in from Campo, you see Davis peeling back in towards the goal. A natural striker's instincts, and he gets his just rewards.
El Hadjouf. Melka's ahead of him. El Hadjouf goes on. Oh, there's a brilliant goal. Fabulous from El Hadjouf. El Hadjouf here has wrapped it up for Bolton. Super run. Nobody could get in a challenge.
Hey, that's a wonderful goal. Take a bow. Little dink sends Collins the wrong way. Toe poke past Green, side netting, job done. This game is well and truly over for West Ham.
West Ham, despite this dreadful away run, now facing their heaviest away defeat. Anelka. Green has come out. Fabulous again from Bolton. Nicholas Anelka has made it 4.
Watch this pass from speed. Perfect, one touch, second touch, a goal. West Ham are well and truly in big trouble at the moment, and it's getting worse.
With West Ham continuing to plummet down the table, 3 straight defeats signalled the need for a change, and it was to be a welcome back for an old player from the 70s whose heart had never really ever left the club.
And after doing 15 years at Charlton, sitting down with the chairman, I just felt I needed a break, which is what happened. And I'd done 6 months, and I was fully expecting to do another 6 months because I didn't see too many things happening in the Premiership. And last of all, this club, I didn't see that coming at all. And I was sitting there ready to book up to go somewhere again, have another break or whatever, when it suddenly happened. And I turned down previous job interviews, if you like, while I was out of the game. But when this one came up, I couldn't turn it down.
Howard hits it! My word, that was close to a spectacular goal.
Well, that's when he's at his best. When he's being powerful, when he's putting defenders under pressure, and he hits this on the turn, and it's a wonderful strike.
United are the only Premier League team who've not lost away from home this season, and they've won each of their last 5 games on the road. 7 wins out of 8. Sahar for them. Good effort, good strong hand from Green, and it needed to be.
Good save from the keeper. Again, Louis Sahar just sits in that hole and picks the ball up, and this is a good strike, and it's going low, down in areas where keepers find it difficult to get to.
Ferdinand grapples away here, and he's been beaten. Oh, it's a wonderful save from Van der Sar to deny Bobby Zamora.
Zamora initially does ever so well because he fights and he wrestles with Ferdinand and he wins this possession. You've got to score that.
Here's Giggs. Sahar. Good save again from Green. He must have seen that late.
Yeah, he's very confident, Robert Green. It's just bent around the defender, and he'd have seen this late to a ruck of bodies. Not only does he get it away, he gets it away with distance.
Need some help here, Marlon Harewood. Oh dear. It's gone straight through to Rooney. And on to Louis Sahar. That could be a costly error from West Ham's point of view. And it's a lovely ball for Cristiano Ronaldo. Good save. Brilliant save.
Oh, that's a super save from Robert Green. Ronaldo thinks he scored. You can see the reaction on his face. It was loose play by West Ham. They gave the ball away, and when it's worked to Ronaldo, he backs up. Collins dips inside him, and he's just feeding it around the defender into the far corner of the goal. He thinks it's in when he hits it. And what a big hand this is from Robert Green to get it away.
Neville on the right foot this time. Ronaldo, far post. Oh, how did he get that back? And that's a bad miss from Ryan Giggs.
Well, you expect better from Giggs. Again, he's slightly misjudged by the West Ham backline, and somehow Ronaldo keeps it alive. It finds his way to Giggs, and well, from 12 yards out, spoons it over.
I don't mind mixing it up with the odd long ball like that, United. Ronaldo. Clever. Wayne Rooney. It's still Rooney. Oh, he had to get, but that was a foul. He had to get back, though, Bowyer.
Well, he did well there, Lee Bowyer, because he read the danger, saw the threat from Rooney, and you see, look at Bowyer's reaction. Gets back in there, reads the danger, gets himself in. That's good midfield play. There's many who question the sale of Ruud van Nistelrooy. Would they get goals? This fella, Henrik Larsson's been bought in after the transfer window. He'll add to the pot.
Sheringham, Harewood again. Rio Coca now. Benayoun gets his first touch since coming off the bench. Here's the other substitute, Teddy Sheringham. Clever little ball that for Harewood. Oh, he's done well! Oh, they've scored! Rio Coca has given West Ham the lead. 15 minutes to go. The league leaders, Manchester United, fall a goal behind. And the Kirbishley effect has taken off at Upton Park. And how?
Now watch. He's just going to feed this ball into Harewood. It's a position the big centre forward loves, where he can roll and use his power. And for once, the captain breaks from midfield. Probably the first time in the game he's really got forward with any intent. And what an important goal that could be.
Out of play for a West Ham throw. Frustration for Wayne Rooney. He knows now that surely Manchester United have been beaten.
Surely they're not going to be denied now at this late stage of the game.
In 15 years as manager of Charlton, Alan Kirbishley never managed to beat Manchester United once. In 90 minutes as manager of West Ham, he's done it.
I picked a side that was near to as much as what played last year. And amazingly, I mean, I've been a manager 15 years and never beaten Man United. It's the only team that I've never beaten. And we went and done it, and a fantastic result. And, you know, the noise when Rio Coca scored, when Nigel scored, it was a noise, you know, and I've gone home that night and I thought, well, can it get any better than this? And, you know, it was the start of it, and thankfully we got them 3 points, so they were vital.
In by Bowyer. And Etherington's header. And very nearly turned in by Harewood. Still not away. And then finally poked wide. But Antti Niemi went for a ball that was headed away by his own player.
I put that one down to a goalkeeping mistake, no question about that. And had that shot been just a little bit nearer, that should have been a goal. That would have been a goal. And there is a question mark of whether there isn't a handball there on the line. I think that's what Bobby Zamora was complaining there. Harewood didn't see it as that ball comes over the top. Now, did a hand go up there?
Oh, yeah. Again, Bowyer. And Harewood!
Did Fulham hesitate? Did they think he might have been offside? Harewood was unerring as he got the ball down and controlled it. Well, I think there might have been an offside decision there, but it wasn't given, and he should have scored.
Kadru forward. And Brown. Goalkeeper did well, would have seen it late.
It was the aerial ball that West Ham failed to deal with when the ball came out to Michael Brown, and it was a confident clutch.
Here's Rio Coca. And Harewood. And off the line by Rosinia.
When Rio Coca gets the ball, it looks as though he's got a great opportunity to hit that ball hard and fast
And when it comes off the goalkeeper, I thought Harwood might have put more into it.
Here's Harewood. Diagonal ball for Yossi Benayoun.
Well, that's what Kirby was hoping for. Something to make Niemi work. It was a good ball. There you see Quadroon just get caught. The angle was difficult. The positioning of the goalkeeper was good. Comes to Nout.
Etherington. Rio Coco. And now can Fulham break with Radzinski. Routledge is up with him. Konchesky played it back against Routledge. Down went Routledge. Problems here. Red card, Paul Konchesky.
I think the referee's made a mistake. I think Foy must have had a poor view of that one. I think Routledge fell.
Well, Chris Foy, unequivocal.
And it's a ban, of course. That will be a talking point.
Curbs coming in, and it was a lot different to Pards, you know, with two different, you know, personalities. So, you know, it was obviously he came in and showed his experience.
Here's Davis. Taylor to deliver. Ferdinand to clear.
Yeah, strange game, Andy. Very quiet, the crowd. Maybe a little bit too much booze over Christmas.
Portsmouth fans urging their team on. Pedro Mendes stands over this Portsmouth corner. Plenty of options. Primus back post! And Portsmouth lead here at Upton Park. West Ham are really under pressure here on their own patch in the opening 20 minutes. Primus will keep it in. Here's another chance. And how did that not go in from Sol Campbell?
Well, that was upon Sol before he really knew it. In fairness to Sol Campbell, that just was upon him a little bit quickly. You can see it's hooked back in by Davis and off the line by Mullins. And Sol Campbell couldn't adjust his feet quick enough to keep it on target.
Glenn Johnson. Looking for Taylor. Davis has made a move through the middle. And West Ham, through SPECTOR, concede a free kick in a dangerous position.
It was a little bit unfortunate here. Good play by Matt Taylor, but you can see it's a clear handball.
So many options forward here for Pedro Mendes to pick out. Campbell is up, Primus is up. Noe Pamaro's in there as well, with Taylor on the back post. Pedro Mendes to deliver for Portsmouth. It's Primus again! 2 goals, almost identical for Linvoy Primus, and West Ham are 2 down on their own patch on Boxing Day. So many players committed forward for West Ham. Konchesky looks to pick out Bobby Zamora.
Still a wonderful bit of skill from Teddy. They keep the ball alive. David James doesn't make it his. Bounces down, that's all he can do, help it towards the goal. Teddy's quick to react, great first touch, super second touch, helps it back in there. And I think, yes, that's going in.
Andy Cole is brought down by Mullins, play waved on. Gavidon knocks it in, but there's nobody there. West Ham have a corner, and Rob Green comes forward from the West Ham goal mouth. Everybody up.
Davy James looks like he's on the prowl, ready to come, Andy.
Teddy Sheringham's delivery. Rob Green is there. David James has come and he's stranded. Chance here for Mullins now. Drills it through. And David James in no man's land.
Do you know, I could see him coming. He'd made up his mind before the kick was taken. And as soon as it's taken, you know he's never, ever going to get there. But that's a poor touch from Bobby Zamora. Should have got his shot away. And there you can see from Aidan Mullins as well.
Stuart Pearce needs 3 points. Alan Kirbishley needs 3 points. Both sides desperate to get clear of the relegation zone. Pearce struggling at the moment. Kirbishley will defeat over Portsmouth. A few worries.
looked at the Bowyer's beaten there. Got away with it, Lee Bowyer. And it's Ireland who got in the position. But a rescuing clearance saves the day. From Vassell it was. Darboe again. Given away. And now West Ham. A shot just wide. Sheringham desperate to get into this game. It was an error that set him up. He got the return ball. And he curled a right foot shot just wide of the upright. Just cannot get into this game. But there's a terrible foul. Vassell. Oh dear, look at Mullins' leg. How he didn't break that, I don't know. Another terrible foul, and City very, very cynical at the moment. Etherington, or Sheringham maybe. Sheringham! Sails past the upright. The keeper had no clue where that was going. No luck for Sheringham today. That's not a bad ball forward. But a dreadful error, but a dreadful finish. Too many chances for City at the moment, but they're trying to hit West Ham on the break. And with finishing like that, there's very little to worry about. Spector hustled off the ball by Richards, but he's kept on. Benayoun is driven wide. Onto the left foot. Mullins. Nearly crept in from Aidan Mullins. In the rain, the ball skidding on the turf, but skidding wide. And now City breaking. Mullins dashing back to try and get the numbers home. But again, City wasting chances. Too many opportunities given them for West Ham. Darboe, yet again, hitting it too high. Obviously, urging his side forward to get a second home win. Tevez. Tevez! A dipping volley. Carved out of nothing. West Ham have had so much of the ball in this game, just cannot turn the possession into goals. City fighting and forcing their way through, and Beasley's through here. Beasley for Manchester City, and City have a lead against the run of play. It's a disaster for West Ham. Beasley breaking through. Green has come up, everybody up for West Ham to try and find a way back into this game. But there is no way back, and City have it. A 1-0 victory carved out of that chance, which they took by Beasley. And it's a second successive home defeat for Alan Kirbishley.
Halfway through a desperate season, and the Hammers found themselves hovering just above the relegation zone by the skin of their teeth, and the first month of the Kirbishley era yielding just one win, albeit a victory over table toppers Manchester United.
If ever a side needed resolution in a new year, it is West Ham United. Their fall from grace over the second half of 2006 has been quite shocking. Doyle. Very intelligently. Lita, Doyle in the middle. Sidwell loves to get in there. He is in there. But Lita brimming with self-belief. So as you say, they are chipping in from all around the team. Sidwell. Oh, and it's a free header for Hunt. It's two. And West Ham are all over the place. Good movement by Lita. pressure, pulling by Danny Gabidon.
He's getting too close. He doesn't need to get too close as well.
What happened? But West Ham United are on the verge of total collapse here.
He's put in with such quality. Anton Fernand's got no chance to get out of the way. He's trying to put his body on the line. Sure, he's a tremendous delivery of the ball. There's plenty of bodies in there. Green's got no chance. Then they're on the attack again, Reading.
And he's really on the attack. Shuri going it totally alone. Here's Harper. It's 4. They were lining up, and Kevin Doyle got there first. This is an absolute rout. 35 minutes played, and this time Steve Coppell does break into a smile. And Lita! 5.
Anxious to respond speedily to the reverse at Reading, Alan Kirbishley signed experienced 29-year-old Portuguese international Luis Boa-Morte from Fulham for £1 million, and the following week 28-year-old Scottish international Nigel Quasi from West Bromwich Albion for £1.5 million. The day before signing Quasi, West Ham faced Bobby Zamora's old club Brighton and Hove Albion in the third round of the FA Cup at Upton Park, for a game that would hopefully see West Ham restored to their winning ways.
Noble picks up the loose ball and finds McCartney. Boa-Morte, deep cross looking for Cole. Tevez touches it down, Noble! And Mark Noble, the youngster who Alan Kirbishley brought into the side to bring the enthusiasm back to West Ham, has scored a quite magnificent goal. Boa-Morte's cross. Cole couldn't get there, but Tevez, an expert head down, and a wonderful strike by Mark Noble. Great team goal this early in the second half. Tevez knows exactly what he's doing, and Noble pivots and hits the first goal. And look how pleased he is. Tevez acknowledges the thanks. So Kirbishley pushing his men on, but it's a corner for Brighton. Headed away, Tevez beaten in the air. But now Noble can bring the ball away for West Ham. A complete change of tactics and technique and enthusiasm in this second half set the game alight. Here's Tevez, great cross. His first start for West Ham under Kirbishley. Boa-Morte's cross comes in, Cole! And Carlton Cole dispatches the ball into the net, and it's 2 in 10 minutes for West Ham. Boa-Morte the provider again from the left. Intelligent play. Tevez started the move, hit the cross a bit deep. Boa-Morte, bit of control, looked up, got his options right. Cole coming back from an offside position, that's what the Brighton defence were complaining about. Scores a quite legitimate goal, only his second since the first day of the season. You can see what that means to him. It's 2-0 to West Ham. Tevez knows about his future at the club, but after today, it looks good. Christian Daly, captain for the day. This very changed West Ham side. Noble finds Sean Newton. Tevez out on the left this time. He's got McCartney with him. Not a bad cross, Mullins! Hayden Mullins with a rare-headed goal. Makes it 3-0 for West Ham in injury time. And really, it's amazing this goal has taken so long to come. Lovely cross from Newton, but real deft header. Striker's header there. from Hayden Mullins. And West Ham through to round 4 of the FA Cup. Almost at walking pace there. 3-0.
He wants to sign me. I'll play many times against his teams, and he wants to sign me, so I was pleased with that. And yeah, I think he's a good manager, and I think he could do a great job for West Ham.
A win, a draw and 3 straight defeats have left the Hammers in vital need of points.
The fans, look at them, all walking past, pay their money week in, week out. West Ham, pull your socks up and get us where we belong, in the top 6. Well done.
I think the players has gone to their heads. They need to kick up the bum, kick up the backside, get a couple of wins under their belt, and then they'll be out of trouble, you know what I mean?
West Ham, number 1 fancy, overland at sea.
Chris Coleman's Fulham side arrived at Upton Park on the back of 4 consecutive draws in the league and also in the FA Cup at Leicester. But they haven't beaten the Hammers here since their first Premiership meeting back in 2001.
Here's SPECTOR, one of the 2 substitutes. Now Benayoun up against Kerdru, and he can't beat him. SPECTOR keeps it alive. It's a teasing delivery. That was Boamorte coming in.
It was a great delivery, whipped in with pace, just concentrated, but I think the bodies in front of him have put him off.
It's dealt with by McCartney, and Fulham will win a corner. Bar making his way up. Helgeson getting up there, and Radzinski it in. Thomas Radzinski puts Fulham in front at Upton Park. Carlton Cole has won it. Will it drop for Zamora? It certainly did. And West Ham on level terms, exactly what they needed.
They play their part together, the 2 strikers. He does well here, Zamora, just holds him off, waits for his time. How many times does it go through the goalkeeper's legs? Read the situation, great strength, cool head, nice finish. Exactly what West Ham needed.
5 minutes for West Ham United in their battle to beat the drop. Will be Zamora, early through for Benayoun. Oh, it's beautiful! Superb start to the second half for West Ham. A stroke of genius from Yossi Benayoun.
But what about this for a finish? Just have a look at this. He has a little glance and he just loops that into the far corner. We wanted something special. He's a special player, and that's a special finish.
Away by Boamorte. Now Volts. Routledge appealing for the flag, West Ham, but it's not likely to come. And it's McBride. And West Ham's hard work undone. Fulham a level.
Very encouraged with both teams. Feel like they can win this game.
Well, a bit of hesitation here. It's struck for Benayoun. Well, he's been forced wide, but he will find the net. And Yossi Benayoun once again comes up with the goods for West Ham.
No one takes charge. He could quite easily go down and get a penalty, but no, he wants to score. His determination, not only after his first goal. Great composure, great finish. They need a leader. He's led them.
Zamora looking to get away. Now as he caught Bocanegra late here, he's been booked. And he's gone.
He doesn't need to go for the ball. He's lunged in there, there's contact.
Well, what an eventful afternoon for Bobby Zamora. And he's dismissed for a second bookable offence, the challenge on Carlos Bocanegra. Now Montella. He's done well, Montella.
Radzinski helping it on. Rossignol, McBride in there. It's got to be! It's an equaliser for Christenval! Incredible drama! Right at the death at Upton Park.
Alan Kirbishley must have been frustrated at seeing a point disappear right at the end of a game West Ham had seemed guaranteed to take all 3 points from, especially after Bobby Zamora was dismissed with a quarter of an hour to go. Predictably, however, there were even more frustrations ahead in the game away to Newcastle United.
Howard's about to spin into space and is battling as West Ham United in the corner. Callum Davenport, of course, played against Newcastle United last week, makes his way forward. Colin there also. And Herwood. Giving comes a long way, and Davenport gets his head on it, and the ball is turned in. West Ham United have taken the lead.
He whips the ball in. Bournemouth have got real quality. They're strong at the back post. Cole just reacts quickly. Right place, right time. Well free kick. He loses his man. What a perfect start that is for him.
He's working hard, Nigel Quasi, at the heart of West Ham's midfield. West Ham leading 1-0. That's a good ball in towards Marlon Herwood. It's 2-0. West Ham United are running riot at St James's Park, and the returning Marlon Herwood with a low finish.
Peter Ramage gets the wrong side, keep the attacker goal side, but take nothing away from Herwood. He's had an indifferent season, to say the least, but the movement of the ball, he gets the strength in front of him, and a little toe poke just before Shay Given comes out.
This is Nicky Butt. Solano in plenty of space here. Milner's all on his own too. This is James Milner. It's gone all the way through. James Milner has pulled Newcastle United back in this game. The West Ham United players are going berserk simply because they thought there was an offside, which blocked Roy Carroll's view as Milner struck it goalwards. And Carroll was beaten, but West Ham are arguing.
Scotty Parker it is, just gets right in front of Roy Carroll. He does well here, Milner. He's been the best player for Newcastle. But look at Scotty Parker. He doesn't touch the ball. Active, inactive. He's found to the goal. It ends up in the back of the net.
Huntington and Edgar also forward, but it's poor. Was that handball though? Yes. Uriah Rennie has given the penalty. A penalty to Newcastle United.
He's had a little slip as he's gone down, Bournemouth, and that's all the difference. He just loses his footing there. Definite penalty decision.
Well, a chance for Newcastle to level here. They do! 2-2. Norberto Solano fires to the right of Roy Carroll, and Newcastle United have come back from the dead.
Alan Kirbishley's last roll of the January transfer dice saw the signing of another experienced player, this time Australian captain Lucas Neal from under the noses of Liverpool from Blackburn Rovers for $1.5 million, and 27-year-old England international Matthew Upson from Premiership-bound Birmingham City for a cool $6 million. Before signing Upson, however, Kirbishley had to witness his side's unexpected exit from the FA Cup at the hands of London rivals Watford.
McCartney's clearance. In by Smith. Carroll has come a long way and he hasn't been able to make the bounce. Watford have taken the lead. Anthony McNamee with a terrific goal in the end after a dreadful mistake by Roy Carroll.
Goal for Watford, scored by number 19, Anthony McNamee.
Well, Carroll tried to be positive. He tried to get there ahead of both Daly and Henderson. But terrific awareness there by McNamee. Was wrong-footed, he had his back to goal, but still he managed to find a way through.
Here's Bellamy in a bit more space, though. Crouch is up there with him. Bellamy nearly fell to Crouch on that side and then smuggled behind as Gerrard came in on it. Couldn't get a clean contact. Liverpool start the second half. And oh, it's straight away a goal within seconds. Dirk Kuyt, what a hit, in off the underside of the bar. Oh, that was scored probably after about 12 seconds of the second half.
Far too easy for Peter Crouch to take that ball down. Callum Davenport has poor defending, and Dirk Kuyt just decided, well, before the goalkeeper gets warmed up, we're going to strike it.
Benayoun meant to cut that to Kwasi, but he doesn't look on song so far. Benayoun, not really.
That was lovely play from Xabi Alonso.
Bellamy, lovely little ball. Risa, lovely move. So, oh, what a goal by Peter Crouch. They made it superbly. They took it superbly. Crouch on the mark. Liverpool 2 up. 2 goals in the first 8 minutes of the second half.
Great play by Alonso. Doesn't even look. Benayoun comes in, flicks it to Steven Gerrard. There's a great. Nobody takes more than 2 touches. Great vision from John Arisa. And what a stunning finish from Peter Crouch.
On his 26th birthday as well, Peter Crouch scores his 13th goal of the season. Dove's pennant, and he's rather hustled out of it there. And there's Blanco's first contribution. Rio Coco helps it on. Slid in here, and yes! What about that? What a start from Kepa Blanco!
Sloppy play from Liverpool, but West Ham for the first time they moved the ball so quickly. And all credit to him. There he is on the move and slides it home well. Rayner's got no chance.
Liverpool are nearly there. They're going to make it 9 wins out of 10 by the look of it. It's some run going into the Merseyside derby for them.
Who would have believed it? Virtually anyone you cared to ask who was there. West Ham beaten at home in January by a side they hadn't lost to at Upton Park for over 20 years, Watford. And although the Liverpool game showed West Ham could still compete with the very best, there was still more room for improvement than Alan Kirbishley would have liked to be seeing at the beginning of February, with only 20 points on board for the whole season.
Rio Coco trying to inject a bit of pace and to get beyond Melberg. And there's a problem meanwhile for one of the newcomers. It's Matthew Upson who is down hurt, and that will be a real worry for Alan Kirbishley. Not even half an hour played at Villa Park. And I wonder Alan Kirbishley is shaking his head. Melberg. On by Carew. Here's Young. Carew again. Agbon Lahore's there. And John Carew doesn't need him. Terrific work by the front two, Ashley Young and John Carew.
He couldn't divert it around the post, but it's John Carew's opening goal on his debut here at Aston Villa.
And listen to the reception for that first Aston Villa goal for John Carew. Berger. Now Barry. Here's Young. Petrov! Fabulous save and a terrific stop too by Roy Carroll.
Great two-handed save from Roy Carroll to deny Petrov from really sealing this game.
Now Spector. Harewood up. Rio Coco's also in there. Etherington. Wonderful stop.
It was a magnificent save from Sorensen because Etherington's shot was destined for the back of the net.
Benayoun with a corner kick. Davenport's up there. And again, it's Sorensen who's been able to get the ball away. Twice in the space of a minute, the Aston Villa goalkeeper's had precious little to do, has kept his team in front.
The challenge comes in from Davenport, ricochets off a defender, Gareth Barry, and Davenport strikes it towards goal. He thinks he's scored.
Davenport again up! It's come back off the crossbar, Harewood's in there, and once more it's Sorensen to fist clear. Benayoun now, out by Melberg, then Petrov. And a huge sigh of relief around 3/4 of Villa Park.
Etherington up to Zamora. Away by Mackay. That's looking for Henderson. Now, was he brought down? Was he pulled back? The referee says yes. It's a penalty to Watford. It's the first penalty Watford have won this season. Anton Ferdinand pulling back Henderson.
Goes over him there. There is a definite pull back, the back of his shirt, and he can have no qualms about that.
It's a long run up for the Watford striker. He's put it in the corner. His first Premier League goal, and what a vital goal it is for Watford.
Well, how cool is that?
Rio Coca, space. Oh, over the bar by Zamora.
Well, I think that tells you everything about the way West Ham are feeling at the moment. Does the right thing, Rio Coca, make something happen. All you need to do is let it hit you.
Henderson battling for possession. He fouled Lucas Neal there. Neal's in trouble. Groans from the West Ham fans. He's injured against Watford 2 weeks ago. His history repeated itself. It has. He's going off.
You see, full stretch there, just gets caught as well. There, that's the problem. Stray leg from Henderson. Don't think there was any intent, but saw it twist him, awkward angle.
And it's the Argentinian Carlos Tevez who will be coming on, yet to score for his new club. Big question mark over his ownership and whether he should even be in the side. Talk of points deductions. In the side now. Quasi finds Tevez. And look at the space for Matty Etherington. Away from Stewart. And brought down by Mahon. Great position for a free kick. Carlos Tevez will fancy this one.
Well, Mahon said he didn't touch him, and I don't think there was any contact there either.
Tevez!
Oh, that is so close. He's only been on a matter of minutes, but he's been involved in everything that's been good so far.
Callum Davenport over the ball. He's looking for Harewood. And there's Tevez. And the keeper's out, and Tevez has managed to see it deflected wide. Even with no goalkeeper, West Ham can't score.
Harewood wins this very well. Good header down, he gets in the right area, Foster nowhere near it, turns, does exactly the right thing, can't do a great deal else.
Harewood for Tevez, now Rio Coca. Oh, what a run by Rio Coca, brought down, it's got to be a penalty, hasn't it? Easy decision for Alan Wiley, and it's the captain Gavin Mahon with the challenge. What will it mean for him?
He gambles, it's a good first touch, look where Alan Wiley is, how far he is behind. There is a definite contact.
Harewood against Foster. Oh, he's missed! West Ham can't believe it!
It's a short run up, and he's not even close, doesn't even scrape the post. Look at his reaction.
It was difficult. I find that really difficult. It was my first time that I move through the transfer window, and I find it quite difficult because we were doing well, and when I came in, I tried hard as I could, and the things were going still in our way, and I got injured, and after I got sick. Many things, so it was really difficult second half of the season for me.
Here's Luke Young. Ambrose. Thomas, first time to Marcus Bent.
Ambrose! A foot up for Charlton in the survival battle, and the noose tightened for West Ham. Alan Pardew's former club go a goal down. It was made by Bent and finished by Ambrose.
One or two West Ham players asking the assistant referee, was Bent offside?
And here's Thomas.
Taking on Davenport.
And getting a shot away, it's Jerome Thomas. It's 2-0 Charlton.
One-on-one, Jerome Thomas against Callum Davenport. And Thomas is easily the winner. Just knocks the ball past Davenport.
Konchesky. Hassan. Hasselbank.
Hasselbank winning his battle with Konchesky. He's onside. Darren Bent could finish it. Darren Bent may well have won the game for Charlton before half-time. Thomas settles it once and for all.
Who gets across the front of the defender and finishes.
The end now for Charlton, and Thatcher found himself under attack from all sides then.
Well, that's absolutely unnecessary, isn't it?
Thomas's kick,
And Zhengzhi hits the bar. And Fife from the follow-up sees his shot blocked by Anton Ferdinand. Hasselbank. And respite from Daly's header back, and there goes the final whistle. A brutal beating for West Ham.
3 games, no goals, 3 defeats, and bottom of the table. February was in every sense the stuff of nightmares, as West Ham's last journey to the bottom of the Premiership 4 years previously had eventually ended in relegation.
Chesky. Tevez sets it up for Noble, and West Ham's youngest and least experienced player has scored a priceless goal.
well done, Mark Noble. He gets to the edge of the box and then stays controlled, keeps his eye on the ball, fires it through the legs of Dawson. Robinson, no chance.
Nobody committed themselves at the far post. Etherington. Ooh, untidy ball, and Davenport's clearance wasn't much better. Oh, remarkable. Bowyer denied what would have been an embarrassing own goal thanks to the heroics once again of Robert Green.
Well, he's pulled off 3 or 4 fantastic saves. I mean, they caused their own problems initially. This is a fantastic save. I think it might catch him in the head rather than in the hands, but as all goalkeepers will tell you, as long as it stays out the net, he's done his job.
Well, so far, this game has been everything that the Barclays English Premier League is all about. Commitment and absolute enthusiasm. Tevez. Gets it back from Etherington. And wins the free kick.
Dawson tries to read this situation and, well, in fairness, doesn't get an awful lot of the ball.
It's Tevez, and it's absolutely magnificent. What a way to get your first goal. What a day to do it.
Brilliant, brilliant free kick.
He's in there somewhere.
Well, take a look, because he not only gets it over the wall, but he bends it and he dips it and he brings it just under the crossbar.
Huddleston. Good ball. Lennon. In behind Neil. Well, it was a risky challenge by Bowyer.
I think the referees give the penalty. Bowyer certainly doesn't make contact with the ball, and, well, there's enough there for Lennon to go down and ask the question.
And it's Jermaine Defoe, the former West Ham player, with a chance to score and bring Tottenham back into the game. It'll be the most unpopular goal scored at Upton Park this season if he gets it. And he has. Game on. Chimbonda has it back for Tottenham. That's a good ball down the line to Berbatov. Two in the middle. One of them is Lennon. And it's a goal, and a superb goal as well by Tainio. It looked on for Lennon to hit the shot himself. He laid it off, and that proved to be the right decision. And Tottenham are level.
Lennon knows exactly what he's doing. It's a lovely hit. Flick back into Tainio's path. And just like Noble, midfield player on the edge of the box, drills it past Green.
And Tottenham now will believe they can go on and even win this game. Tevez will take the free kick. It's not bad, it was tempting, and it's a goal! They've done it, and it's Bobby Zamora who's come off the bench, and within 2 minutes has scored the most important goal West Ham have got this season.
It's got to be his first touch of the ball. It's a decent delivery into the box by Tevez, and he rises well, gets up early. It's the first time we've seen the Tottenham players beaten at the back. And it's a powerful header that gives Robinson no chance. Look at the reaction. Look what it means to Robert Green and his team.
Eggert Magnusson, the owner, rises to his feet. But here comes Huddleston for Tottenham. He claimed a handball there. Well, they'll get a free kick anyway for that second challenge.
Earned his team a free kick right on the edge of the box.
Nobody will have left early at Upton Park. There could be another chapter written in this dramatic story yet. Berbatov concentrates hard. There's no question he's got the ability to do what Tevez did in the first half. And that he has done! Dimitar Berbatov with a magnificent free kick. Tottenham are level, and West Ham are back in despair.
Anything Tevez can do, Berbatov shows he's his equal. Because this is even harder, it's closer. To get that up and down, and I talked about somebody on the line. Well, they got Konchesky there, but it was just too good for him. The ball was too high, and he could only help it on its way. And what a blow that is for Alan Kirbysley. I think he knows with that goal could go. West Ham's chances of staying in this English Premier League.
Here come the hammers again, though. Zamora's once again in a good position here, and so too is Marlon Harewood. Oh, Noble almost got onto that. Tevez did. Oh, what a chance.
Well, the way the game was going for this fella, you almost thought this is going to end up in the back of the net. Even a 3-3 draw is going to seem like a defeat for these West Ham players and the fans.
The last throw of the dice. And Zamora's lost out here. The referee looks at his watch as he races forward. It's Jermaine Defoe, and he's got Lennon up with him, and only Konchesky to beat at the moment. Defoe! Oh, no! Unbelievably, it has been pushed out to Staltieri, and with seconds remaining, West Ham's fate might well have been sealed.
They lose the ball on the edge of the box, and in fairness to Tottenham, look how many white shirts break forward. Defoe knows these runners round him, but he likes to take the shot on, and just when Robert Green needs a bit of luck, he doesn't get it. He gets his hand to the ball, and you see it just gets away from him.
It's only the third goal he's ever scored for Tottenham Hotspur.
I came away from that game with mixed emotions, obviously, but I came away with some positives. I did. And that sounds crazy. We're suddenly 10 points behind everybody. But I came away with some positives. And the positives was I'd seen something that everyone's been telling me was there, but I'd actually seen a bit.
That's a lovely sliding ball through to McCarthy, who's going to get there first. Green almost took him out. Pulls it back. Well, it was good defending in the end by Green.
Yeah, like he knew a lot about it. I mean, this is a mad moment, for sure. Absolutely mad. And then when it comes back to him, oh, that's riding your luck.
And this slip allows a wonderful chance for Blackburn.
which Pedersen fails to take. Pedersen whips it in. Samba with his first goal for Blackburn Rovers.
There's no sensing of danger. There's a bit of blocking. Harewood actually blocks his own player. He blocks Collins' route towards marking Samba. It's a great header. Not much Green can do.
And Rio Coker can bring it away for West Ham. Tevez. He's on his own. Was he tripped? He's gone down. And it's a penalty. Howard Webb points to the spot. Brett Emerton is furious. And Carlos Tevez is the focal point. And suddenly, Howard Webb has a lot to sort out.
What Tevez does is he keeps the ball in the box, drags Emerton's front, teases him. There's wrestling, there's arms, but you know Tevez is just going to check here. There's the lunge, and then what he does, it's the trailing boot that comes in and catches Tevez.
Can he put West Ham United back in this game and give them some hope for Premiership salvation? Tevez against Friedel, scores, it's 1-1. Well, last time he celebrated by going into the crowd. This time he manages to refrain a little, but it's an important goal for the Hammers. Mullins. Oh, what a smart save by Friedel.
It's a good leap from Collins. I just wondered if he was going to let it go because he's got a player in behind him. Standard save for Friedel.
Mullins, what a chance! Bowyer, surely! Zamora, blocked on the line by Carlos Tevez, his own player, but the goal has been given, and West Ham have turned it around, and Bobby Zamora has given them hope that maybe, just maybe, they can survive in the Premier League. Now they're complaining, of course, did the ball go over the line? The goal has been given, but the Blackburn players are furious, Gary.
That does not cross the line.
Could be worth around £30 million though in the end. Done. Is there time for Blackburn to create another chance?
Interesting decision, because I'm sure there's a handball in there. It's whether the referee feels that Lucas Neal was leaning on him.
It's a yellow followed by a red for David Bentley in that challenge with Lucas Neal, and yet another decision goes against Blackburn Rovers, who are now down to 10 men.
We hadn't had an away win all season, and no luck, you know, home or away was going our way really, and obviously to go to Blackburn and get two controversial goals, which kicked it all off really.
Well, here's an opportunity for Tevez. Well, it might break for Zamora! Dream start for West Ham United. Exactly what they needed, and Bobby Zamora is the scorer.
Well, terrific confidence booster. Lose it in the middle of the path here. I mean, the ball falls to Tevez. Gets a kind little break. Falls to the left foot of Zamora. There's only one place it's going to end up, and that's in the back of the net. Schwarzer, no chance.
Now Bowyer, Zamora, Tevez, Rio Coker. Challenge came in. It was an important one for the moment. Zamora! Schwarzer with work to do. McCartney. Just above Tevez's head. Might get a second chance! And you can't give him a second chance! It gets better and better for West Ham United and for Carlos Tevez.
Gets a goal that's pretty well deserved, certainly for his performance. Misses the ball that comes in. Taylor can't adjust his feet, can't get this away. Pogadez misses it, comes off his left knee, falls straight into the path of Tevez. Another strike from 6 yards, another strike that gives Schwarzer no chance. And a terrific first 45 minutes for West Ham United.
And now it's Boamorte. Understandably, not many joining him on the charge, but Boamorte may still get a chance here. And Schwarzer having to make the save.
Bournemouth, he tries to have the shot at goal here. I mean, the angle's really, really tight. He just goes for power, drills it, probably on target. Schwarzer gets his foot to it. I think the defending will have pleased Alan Curbishley as well. Obviously, getting a couple of goals and getting the 3 points, but keeping a clean sheet, something I've not been able to do this season. Conceded far too many goals.
Oh, Viduka will get up, but can't hit the target.
The fans on the whole, you know, pretty much throughout the season have stuck with us, and that's generally the case throughout football. If that you're showing that you're trying, showing the passion that they have, then they'll stick with you. And thankfully, towards the end of the season, then I think they were in equal measure. And you know, if we performed as well as they had all season, then you know we wouldn't have been in the trouble we'd been in all season.
The fans are always, when I used to play against West Ham, always have the impression that the West Ham supporters, they were really passionate about the club and really love football. So when I joined West Ham, when I have the chance to join West Ham, I was pleased with that, and never think twice, never thought twice. So pleased with the support that we've been getting.
March was the month that saw West Ham finally mustering the spirit that had deserted them for so long this season. Whether it would be enough to rescue them from a seemingly impossible escape scenario still remained to be seen.
Most people could have named the West Ham side last year. Within reason, it could have just, it rolls off the tongue. But for whatever reason, injuries and lack of form, etc., you couldn't do that, certainly for the first half of the season. And I don't think we've done it until the running.
And a chance here for Fabregas. Terrific start for Arsenal, but Green makes an important save.
Does well, Robert Green. Dives at Fabregas and smothers the ball. It's an excellent save.
Here's Ljungberg. Can he get through? Another crucial and excellent save from Robert Green.
Robert Green, a good 13, 14 yards off his line, and once again smothers the ball bravely at the feet of Freddie Ljungberg.
West Ham living on a knife edge, they really are. Eboué. Now it's Rio Coca. Again, the Arsenal attack becalmed on the West Ham defence. Neil and Zamora will get here. Oh, and Zamora has poached a brilliant goal for West Ham. An absolute steal, but what a priceless goal it could be.
Arsene Wenger's complaining he was offside. It was a very tight one. There's absolutely no complaints about the finish. It was absolutely top class, wasn't it, from Bobby Zamora?
Arsene Wenger is frustrated at the break. Here's Adebayor. Gilberto gets another chance. Oh, and another stunning save from Green.
Initial shot wasn't a good one. It deflected back to him and he struck it really well. And yet another quite stupendous save that was from Robert Green.
Arsenal free kick. And Adebayor! Oh, it really is Robert Green's day. How on earth did he keep that one out?
Well, if the last save was something special, this is possibly the pick of the bunch.
Touré. Shot blocked by Ferdinand. Now Gilberto and Fabregas shooting chance. Oh, and this time the woodwork comes to West Ham's rescue. Stunning.
Is it to be West Ham's day? Robert Green, even he can't get a hand to this.
Now Zamora. There just isn't much respite for West Ham at the moment. Fabregas into Eboué, and then Gilberto! Another chance goes begging.
I've lost count of all the chances now that Arsenal have had, and how many they've wasted.
Oh, maybe Thierry Henry might have stuck a couple away. Here's Capablanco. Noble. Nobles worked it through. The flag hasn't gone up. It's Boamorte, surely.
And everyone's anticipating the flag going up, but it stays down. Capablanca was offside, Boamorte onside, takes it around Lehmann, clips it with his right foot, but just past that far post.
You know, a great day. It was one of them days where, you know, everything seemed to always hit me at times, and or if it wasn't hitting me, then it was hitting the post or the bar, or just going wide. And you know, it was a result that I think, you know, which, as you say, no one gave us a chance to get. And you know, it was although it was, you know, it was a great occasion. It was one of them where we've got a result, and it's a step in the right direction, but it hadn't really got us to an ultimate goal, which was survival. And you know, it was, you know, but it was a massive step in the right direction, and you know, it was the 3 big points, and you know, a huge bit of belief for the boys, for everyone involved.
Me, Anton and Gabs obviously all got injured at the same time, and then Matty came in, got injured, and you know, Callum was playing. It could have been anyone any week. So obviously when we got settled, you know, the whole back four started playing really well.
Tevez.
Once he took a touch, it was always going to be harder to hit the target. Went for the curler, and he's over the top.
All put out so that Christian Nade can have treatment.
Well, there was the challenge between the pair of them. Anton Ferdinand coming down on Nade.
Here's Nade. Blocked off by Ferdinand, who's just been booked. Now Steve Bennett is faced with a big decision.
He's given the foul, and it's so close after. Look, yes, it is intentional. He's blocked his path. He's a lucky boy, and he doesn't get a second yellow.
It's Tonga, hits it! It's brilliant! To Carlos Tevez. West Ham don't want to waste the momentum they've built up here. Lucas Neal! Great save by Paddy Kenny, and turned away by Geary. Here's Etherington. Clearing header by Morgan. Noble completely misses his kick, and Bowyer now looks to keep possession. And completely falls over.
Tevez into the path for Lucas Neal. He's trying to dig it out under his feet. He does so, but that's a great save.
It's a fraught day at Bramall Lane, but the prize within their grasp. Gillespie's corner. Jagielka climbs! That's the goal they wanted! It's their captain who's provided it, and Sheffield United are being given a springboard to safety here. Hayden Mullins. Now Stead. Geary and Quinn are arriving now. Stead goes alone and finishes superbly, and Neil Warner can't contain himself.
Spector and Rio Coker's taking 2 of them to keep him at bay. And a nice touch. And Wright Phillips all the way through! Brilliant skill from Sean Wright Phillips. Gives Chelsea the lead. And he got past Spector with a little shuffle and hit him. A fabulous left foot shot. Green had no chance. Well, the referee's playing advantage. Here's Carlos Tevez. It's a brilliant goal by the Argentinian. And it puts West Ham right back in this game. A little shuffle, and what a fine shot. Czech might have had it. But Tevez found the corner of the net. It's West Ham United 1, Chelsea 1. And that's what it means to Kerbishley. Chelsea coming straight back from the kickoff. Wright Phillips! He's got a second! Just over 30 seconds from West Ham's goal, and Chelsea back in the lead.
Mourinho, part of his plan. Look at that exquisite touch. Very little Green or anyone else could do except watch. Tevez. He's got the overlap. May try and squeeze it through himself. McCartney! Oh, dear, oh dear. Bobby Zamora just sat up a bit on him. Lampard's free kick. Oh, it's going to be a goal. It's a goal for Kalou. And Chelsea now a 2-goal cushion. Check. Oh, wrong clearance, but it's hanging there for a moment. Oh, in goes Drogba. It's 4. And Chelsea will have the 3 points. West Ham's defence all over the place.
We started off well when we was playing all right, and as you say, we got hurt with their first goal, got ourselves straight back in it, and then you think, well, this is game on. And 30 seconds later, we're back down to 2-1. But that's what them teams can do, you know, and I think we learnt a lesson that day. I was critical of the way we've been celebrating goals. I think it seemed that every player run from every corner of the pitch when we scored, and teams were waiting to kick off. And yeah, teams are waiting to kick off, but at least there's 4 or 5 people back in place. But none of ours was, and you know, I didn't know if that had anything to do with it, but I sense that Chelsea, the great side they are, that they up the tempo. As soon as they scored, they up the tempo. And as soon as they let one in, they up the tempo, and they got straight back in it. Second half was a damp squib. We had a couple of chances, I think, or opportunities, never took them, and once they scored their third, the game was over.
Everton have just not got into any sort of stride or tempo.
Rio Coca.
Terrific, decisive run there. Just hits across the line of the ball.
Andrew Johnson forced off injured.
And there we see the problem. It's a fair challenge.
Remarkable contrast in West Ham's fortunes. This time last year, they were looking forward to the FA Cup final.
Well,
finished 9th in the Premiership as well, their first season back. Benayoun. Now Zamora. What a wonderful goal! What a fantastic hit that was by Bobby Zamora. West Ham certainly haven't given up just yet.
Look at the ability here. Jinx, lovely little back heel. Nobody closes him down. And that's venomous. Can't get anywhere near that as a goalkeeper.
And now is that West Ham are leading by a goal to nil. Here's Neil. He's showing there, Lucas Neil, that anything Bobby Zamora can do, he can do almost just as well.
It's good technique. I thought he was going to play it wide at first. Crown egged him on to shoot. Look how close that is. Just shaves the outside of the post.
Kept in play by Rio Coca. Zamora alongside him. It's a really good run this by Rio Coca. Zamora! Beautiful drag back, but he couldn't apply the finish this time.
Lovely reverse turn there. And if he hits the target, it's 2-0.
Zamora dispossessed. Arteta. Decent attempt by Mikel Arteta.
Look how much space he's got here. Nobody closes him down. Luckily, it's off target.
Fernandes. Here's Hibbert. Beats it to the near post. It'll come out to Lescott. Arteta!
Well, that was the best chance, or one of the best chances you'll see in a football match. He wants to get the ball right, and Lescott, doesn't he do well here? So intelligent with the head back. And this is a bad miss.
It is 3 priceless points for Alan Kirbishley and West Ham United.
for Boamorte here. Wrestling match between him and Boyce. Boamorte, it's going to trickle in. West Ham make the breakthrough in the basement battle, and it's Luis Boamorte's first goal for the club.
What a fantastic ball that was for Lucas Neal. And it was a straight race between Boamorte and Phelan. And the Portuguese winner came up with the goods. And what a brilliant start this is for West Ham United. They have looked the most likely to score in this opening half an hour. And what a big, big goal that could prove to be.
Boamorte has got Tevez and Benayoun with him. Here's Tevez. Boamorte, they're in again, West Ham. Zamora! Oh, heroic from Baines.
Well, great block, in such an important block. Wonderful control football from West Ham United. They're just dictating the pace of the game, and they seem to be finding a lot of space and also a lot of quality that we're seeing now from the visitors. That goal has done them a power of good because it's helped them settle down and play some very, very good football.
Well, has fortune come out of hiding? Shana got a piece on that. It was McCulloch, in fact. Now Tevez holding on amid the challenges. Now there's a possibility here. And so Noble making the break. Zamora. And now a chance for Benayoun. He's got to wrap it up. And that's what he might have done. Even at this stage, it's one giant leap towards safety for West Ham.
Well, that's top quality. It really is, and no wonder they're all celebrating. Tevez picks the ball up here. It looks as if he's got nowhere to go, but this is a terrific ball into the path of McCarthy. And then it's about keeping his head, keeping cool and composed. Great link-up play between Zamora and Benayoun, and that's fantastic quality. It really was. He shapes the goal one side of the goal, Benayoun, and plays it in the other side. And it just trickles in off the post, but it doesn't matter how it goes in. They really have now got their noses firmly in front.
Now then, Tevez. Possibility here, he's got Rio Coker up with him. Can Tevez seal it himself? Oh, and Rio Coker must! Oh. And somehow we can keep faint hopes alive.
Well, this is brilliant play. Terrific link-up between Tevez and Zamora. Tevez gets himself into an excellent position. The angle's always going to be against him. And then Rio Coker thinks that all he's got to do is make sure that his strike finds a target.
Shana got up there. Oh. And West Ham escaped for the moment at least. It's Agahauer trying to keep it alive, and Skoko. And now Tevez. Here's the break on again. Looks as though it might be, you know. And now it's Boamorte. He's got Harewood up with him as well. Surely it's going to be three. And Harewood seals it for West Ham United. What a massive day this could prove to be in the relegation fight. And Marlon Harewood has given for sure now West Ham United 3 priceless points.
Well, Tevez does brilliantly here because he scraps and he works hard and then eventually stays on his feet long enough to play the ball into the path of Rio Coker. And then that's a fabulous ball because he has the awareness of where Boamorte is. And you can see the Portuguese winger just bides his time and allows Marlon Harewood the easiest of chances just to put the ball into an open net. Game, set, and match.
It's been not easy season, but try hard as I could, and yeah, I scored one. Hopefully it was the first one of more goals to come, and set a few goals, so that's my job.
With 2 matches to play in the Premiership, it was proving a very different season from last year, but certainly one that West Ham fans would remember for many years to come.
He's got a really infectious character, and it rubs off on everybody in the games. And you know, he would go for balls that probably other players wouldn't go for, and put in tackles maybe that other people wouldn't. And he just chased and harried everything. So I mean, in that respect, if he could do it, and he's, you know, an Argentinian international, South American player of the year sort of thing. And, you know, it showed that everyone else can do it, and it's particularly at home, it lifted the crowd, it lifted everybody, you know. And it was, you know, to play with him was, you know, special, and it was a really good addition to the squad in the end, really.
You know, he's unbelievable. Carlos is a world-class player. You know, he showed that in the last few games. So, you know, I'm glad he was on our team, and I didn't have to defend against him too many times.
Could have quite easily jacked it in. I think, you know, he's this world-class player and it ain't happening and everything's going wrong. He could have quite easily gone the other way. But I think he was consistent in everything he'd done. He said, you know, I want to do well and I want to give it a go. And, you know, some of his performances galvanised us. You know, some of them before, as I say, before I got in charge, I think he was doing a lot of the work outside the box and wasn't a danger to anyone. But you know, suddenly it all sort of clicked, and as I say, I think his partnership with Bobby, it was a partnership for all sorts of reasons, different reasons, and it was working.
Noble. Noble will get it back again. Hit big chest of Davis. Here's Tevez. Got the free kick. It's a pretty theatrical fall to the ground. But the referee believed that he was sent tumbling.
He is so clever at winning free kicks. And he's not bad either at taking free kicks from this kind of position. We've seen him score before on this ground. I think it was against Tottenham, wasn't it?
Yes, it was his first West Ham goal. A big Bolton wall. Tevez gets it over the wall, scores! The hammer of the year! Scores maybe West Ham's goal of the season in terms of significance.
Well, this effort from Tevez has class written all over it. There aren't too many players who can actually conjure up this kind of skill. It's a brilliant execution from the Argentinian.
Well, welcome to the Premiership for Sammy Lee, manager. Noble. And Barmorte, who scored at Wigan. And Tevez! It's 2 for Tevez. It's 2 for West Ham United. The right kind of uproar at Upton Park.
Well, certainly Campo looks out of sorts in the right back area. His position is really poor here. From the ball from Noble, he's nowhere. Boamorte picks out Tevez, clever little pass. It says to Tevez, go on son, stick it in the back of the net for your second goal, and he does that with ease.
Certainly since the turn of the year, and West Ham are simply piling into them. It's Noble. It's a wonderful volley. And West Ham are piling up the goals. And the margin over Bolton Wanderers here is 3-0. It's a peach from Mark Noble.
Absolutely right. Once again, Campo is the culprit. Sloppy play, gives possession away carelessly. But Tevez then plays a delightful ball to the back post. And the volley from Noble is quite superb.
And it's Gary Speed who tucks in a goal for Bolton Wanderers, the player coach these days, but still going strong. It's a great example to set to the others.
Well, that's a typical Bolton goal. Noble's dispossessed, forced into an error. Anelka takes possession, picks out Gary Speed, one touch on his left foot, then drills the ball across Robert Green into the far corner. Clinical finish by Gary Speed.
So they've scored their first goal for the new manager. Backed by the East London roar. Tevez! What a roar it would be if he got a hat-trick here. And that's why they love him. He looks like a fighter.
And goodness me, he's played like one.
Well, undoubtedly, Tevez enjoys the attacking part of the play, gets his shot away here, but then as the ball goes loose, he doesn't allow Meite to take good possession. He quickly changes from attacking to defending. And you're absolutely right, Martin. He lifts the crowd. He's an inspiration to the rest of his team. Never gives up. Great persistence by Tevez.
I didn't know much about him. Knew he'd been out on loan, and he was enthusiastic, very enthusiastic in training, and was in my face all the time, saying like, "Look at me, look at me, look at me." And I put him in against Brighton because there was an opportunity to play 4 or 5 players. You know, the players weren't playing in the reserves. They wasn't fit because of that, I think. And you know, I played 5 players, I think, in that game, and he scored a great goal. I then reverted back to experience, but he never kept plugging away. And truth be known, he was going to play at Charlton, but he got injured on the Friday, and sod's law. But you know, I decided I just needed. He had an affinity with the crowd, and we just needed a lift. And he went in, and he's grabbed it, and it's great. I think that, you know, every club needs some homegrown talent coming through, and he's one of them. And he plays like it, and some of the tackles he went into galvanised the crowd and galvanised everybody.
Sunday afternoon, Man United West Ham. Where will Ray Winston be?
On the city. I was going to go. I've been away a lot, so I want to stay home with my little girl. I'm going away again soon, so I'll be at home. And I don't actually get nervous anymore about games like that. I've been away. I'm 50, so I've been a West Ham supporter for years, and I'm used to this. And that's all part and parcel of being a West Ham fan in a way. Is that fact of I know how it's going to end up, and I always say the same thing, but we'll do it. And that's the beauty of it, and that's the kind of thing I like. I like that kind of thing of, you know, being the underdog, and we're playing Man United. I wouldn't have it any other way, to be honest with you. I know if it was anyone else, I know the team would probably say, no, we wish we were playing Wigan, but Man United at Old Trafford, I fancy us to get a point. And if Ferdinand ain't playing, Wes Brown don't look all that clever at the back at the moment. That kid was a good player. I don't know what's happened to that boy, but he's too bob at the minute. And little Tevez and maybe Zamora coming round him, gliding past him. I fancy we can nick something there. So I think we could do it on our own. I don't think we have to worry about Sheffield United or Wigan, you know. I think a bit of skullduggery might go on there anyway, because both of them have got the hump with us at the minute. So I've got a fancy we might just nick a draw there.
We may
and do you know what? That'd be probably the great escape of all times.
Here's Solskjaer, and here's Rooney. He's clever. He's wide.
Carrick. Solskjaer. Rooney.
Alan Smith! Crucial intervention by SPECTOR, and he looks to have been hurt by that.
Ball was just a little bit, well, too far behind Alan Smith, really, to run onto it. Turns well enough, that was goal bound.
He's possibly not quite warm yet. On a wet, horrible day.
Well, if he wasn't warm, he is now, after that hit him.
O'Shea.
This is where Man United have got too much freedom to play. Rio Coker and Ben Ayoun certainly have to get closer to the Man United players.
Rooney, Solskjaer, O'Shea. They are clearly enjoying their game of football. And look what they've got in reserve just in case. And Smith plays it and hits the bar. And now cleared off the line by Morte. And West Ham are clinging on here by the skin of their teeth.
And Alan Smith, well, he can't hit this any better at all. Just flicks it goal bound towards the far post. I think it comes off the bar. Banayoun's beaten. Then Banayoun, this time, he gets a block from Kieran Richardson, I think it was. Great execution from Alan Smith. Yeah. Oh,
I think he saved it.
He does, he saved it. Thought it came off the bar. Does it twice, doesn't he? Robert Green might have been beaten second time round.
And that crowd reaction is as a result of news from Bramall Lane that Sheffield United have equalised against Wigan.
Latest score from Bramall Lane, all square at the moment. Just decided to stick with the formula. Leave the 2 guys up front, Tevez just playing in that hole behind Zamora. Well, certainly I think that Marlon Harewood's pace and power will make. Carlos Tevez is man on the spot yet again. What a great finish.
Not great defending from Man United. Van der Sar, he comes and he decides to stay. And once he does that, he gives the initiative to Tevez, but what a fantastic finish.
7 goals for Carlos Tevez, all since the beginning of March. And it's worth millions. It's worth millions. Giggs once more. Saved with his feet by Green from Ronaldo's ferocious downward header. He got a lot on that.
Luckily for Robert Green, straight towards his leg. He's such a danger in the air, Ronaldo.
Here come United again with Giggs. And Ronaldo onside here. West Ham is stretched. It's Cristiano Ronaldo. And Green stood up well.
But West Ham got so many bodies back. Just tried to clip it over Robert Green. I think it actually hit him in the shoulders or the face.
Stayed on his feet well, the keeper. In by Fletcher. Held up by Solskjaer. And here is John O'Shea. Tackle from behind. Nothing given. Solskjaer. Giggs! Rooney couldn't turn. Stabbed away as far as Fletcher. Touch from Rooney. Scholes from here is lethal. And it is Paul Scholes! Clawed away by Green. They're on the point here of winning 4 of their last 5 away from home. A header out by Ferdinand. The final whistle. Pretty bubbles. West Ham over Manchester United. Alan Kirbishley has taken them from the depths of despair to the very heights of elation.
We got in a dressing room at half-time and there was a determination, obviously. 45 minutes to go. You could change this all around. You could, you know, put back a lot of what we'd lost. We could use all the negative stuff, all the criticism against us as positive, and let's turn it around. And I know that Man United created a few more chances and they brought the big hitters on, etc. But I didn't feel that uncomfortable in the second half.
Scored a second.
Yeah, I didn't feel that uncomfortable, you know. And obviously, when there was 3 minutes to go, and you know, you couldn't relax. But I just, you know, I thought the last 10 minutes went quicker than most people thought. It, you know, I kept looking at it, but you know, we'd done it, I think.
And how did you feel at the final whistle?
I just felt relieved for the club because, you know, it's their life. And I just think that people, footballers get on with it, you know, and, you know, I think that was a life-changing game. They are, you know, playoff finals are, relegation are, you know, and for us, I think it would have pushed us backwards for a couple of seasons, and no one wants that. And, you know, it was relief. The fact that, you know, you can finish 15th or, you know, 16th, 17th, whatever, just get out of that bottom 3 and, you know, concentrate on next year. And I must admit, I took it quite calmly. You know, we'd done it, and but I didn't take as much joy from it as perhaps I should have done, because it was tempered with the fact that we shouldn't have been there. Do you know what I mean? It was just, I'm thinking like, well, we've just done probably the greatest escape, greater than what's ever been done before, I think. Tempered with the fact, well, but no, we shouldn't have been there, you know. And
7 wins in 9
7
games.
9 against the opposition we played against. And I'm thinking, yes, great, fantastic, enjoy it, but blimey, you shouldn't have been there. And that's how I felt. I went into Alex's office, had a drink with him, got home, went straight home, watched it on Match of the Day, and thought, well, you know, shouldn't have been there. You know, shouldn't have been there. And let's hope we never go there again.
To be written off from all quarters, not given a chance to have everything that's gone on off the pitch, you know, from the takeover to losing the manager to all the controversies surrounding the players and things like that. That it's been, you know, to actually come out of it unscathed is, you know, pretty much, you know, a miracle, really.
Early on in the season, we didn't give them too much to shout about, you know, and I'm sure they was as frustrated as we were. But you know, the run in the last 9 games, they've been absolutely superb. You know, they were superb all season, but you know, it was like having 12 men on the pitch sometimes those last 9 games, and that made a massive difference. And I'm sure all the boys will say the same. You know, we owe them, you know, a massive thank you really for getting us through those last couple of games. There's
a few key games, but probably against Tottenham when we got beat 4-3, that almost everyone wrote us off that they could see us on Championship next season. And from the Tottenham game, we just turned the things around. I think, I would say, we turned around the corner against Tottenham.
It felt like we'd, you know, pulled off the biggest upset and the greatest escape in history, and you know, it was something that no one had given us a chance to do, and we had done it, and to finally get it to come off and you know, pull off a result, which is a hell of a result at any place, any time of the season. So to do that as well is you know, it was a fantastic feeling.
A fantastic, unforgettable season, and definitely one of change for the Hammers. With a new owner and a new manager, and with money available to Alan Kirbishley in the season ahead, there was no need for Hammers fans not to feel optimistic about the future.